Hello and welcome once again to Tekkit Lite Crash Course. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of tidying up around the village, replanting some of my stuff you might have noticed was busted, that sort of thing. Let's see. Also, where there was once an enormous and wastefully constructed building, there is now an open field. Basically, like I said last episode, I had my fillers remove all of the construction foam, so now there are no more monsters spawning in the middle of an open building. And at the same time, I also had them fill this area, this basically 64 by 64 down 16 blocks with dirt with a layer of cobblestone at the bottom. That way I know to stop digging if I start. That requires a lot of dirt, oddly enough. So before I start on my next stage, I'm going to show you how I made so much. As it turns out, using the plant balls, which you can compress for fuel cells, you can also grind those plant balls with a macerator. Not so much with a coarse grindstone, though. I discovered that. But yeah, with a macerator, you can turn those plant balls into dirt. Every one plant ball gives you 8 dirt. You see, one plant ball, 8 dirt. So I set up a bunch of these auto crafting tables. You can use leaves, you can use saplings. This is all vanilla stuff, mind you. You can do it with rubber trees as well, since it's an Industrial Craft 2 thing. But you sadly cannot use the red power rubber trees. Wish you could. Unfortunately, you can't. That's also my other stuff. This is basically, I just keep making this wall bigger and bigger as I make more stuff. That's how I made so much dirt, so I essentially became a dirt factory for about a week's time. Took me a long time. That's also where all these trees over here came from. Yeah, chainsaws come in handy. As do crossbows. But for my next trick, I'm going to be first lighting up this area around here. I don't think I have a recipe for torches down here, though. I think I've redstone torches, but not torches. Let's check. Torch. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make a crafting table for torches, and I'll be right back. Alright, now that's set up, I can auto-craft and give myself torches. For now, though, I'm going to sleep so I can get rid of some of these creepers that are going to be spawning on me. Alright, so I'll go watch the undead burn. Also, yeah, this kind of exploded right here. I think it's because I shut off my magmatic engines and the magma overloaded in the waterproof pipes. So waterproof pipes, as it turns out, can explode. Something to keep in mind, don't overload your pipes. So onward and sideways, gonna get rid of some of these guys out here. I'm doing it with the crossbow instead of... Why is that firing so wildly? Okay, screw it, I'm going to use this. I was going to use the crossbow to save the energy in this thing, but yeah, I gotta get rid of these guys, they're in my way. Should be able to at least pick up these bolts if I can find them. A couple arrows. Okay, so just like we did with the village, we're going to go ahead and torch this entire space so that stuff doesn't spawn while I'm trying to build. Let's see, service map. Lighting, nighttime. Gotta order some additional torches as well. Since those will take a while since I have to cook up the stuff with the things. Alright, so, cue the music. now the place is torched, I'm going to start on my fence. Since this is eventually going to be a safe zone once I light up this area around here within the confines of the walls, the fence won't be such a big deal, but for now it's largely going to be decorative. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and set up a couple other things down here, because I want to use basalt, since, you know, the area was once covered in basalt. I want to try to, I don't know, honor the tradition of the volcano or some such silliness. So I'm going to grab an electric furnace here, and a couple other things, set up a crafting table for bricks, and do that. I'll be back. And thus, the wall of creation grows ever larger. Once the factory campus is started, I will be constructing a sort of storage and crafting area using applied energistics. This is going to make a much more compact version of this and all of this. I'm going to keep this up just until all that's made, so I can still have some ready resource available, as well as some automatic crafting to work with. I might leave it up afterwards too, I don't know, part of a museum or something. But until that time, let's get back to work. Alright, now before we start laying brick, I wanted to show you my basic idea for this design. Fire my checklist here. And that shows Audacity right there. Okay, that's better. Basically my concept, I'm going to make this entire thing an octagon. Why an octagon? Because squares are boring. As I discovered as I was building the factory. This is a little doodle, just basically a sketch. Octagonal walls, road following it, roads going throughout as well. Probably some octagonal buildings, maybe, I don't know, something joined in the middle here. Underground is basically going to be squares and rectangles, where you won't see them, because squares are boring. Within the space outside of each of these corners, there's going to be, like, power, a couple fountains, neat stuff. For now, let's go ahead and get this wall started. Get rid of the checklist, and get back to work. So I figure, this wall's right at the edge, by the way, so that's going to be going away eventually. Lay this out like so, until we get to 16, and then take it at an angle. And we'll be doing something a little bit different. Red Power's handsaw, which I know before I was attributing the handsaw to Buildcraft. It is not a Buildcraft item, it is a Red Power item. Just so you know. I actually learned that when I was doing a little research on the new Tekkit mod pack from Technic Pack, which includes Galacticraft, which makes it awesome. Now, how far am I going with this thing? Going all the way. They actually removed Industrial Craft, and they removed Red Power. Why, you may ask? Or you may not ask, I don't really care, I'm going to tell you anyway. If you look at the Thermal Expansion mod and some of the machines, I made a couple of them for the series. But if you look at the machines that are in there, they largely render Industrial Craft obsolete. You no longer need a macerator. You no longer need the electric furnaces. There's only one kind of power used. It's all Buildcraft power. Factorization has also been removed, I believe, I think. Basically just kept the mods that use Buildcraft, which is kind of neat, I think. But since those are removed, so of course we're going to use Red Power and Industrial Craft as much as we can in this series. Mostly out of spite. So I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this till we go around the other side. I'll show you a little trick for making custom fences. So now we've got the area hemmed in. It's kind of a crude octagon. It's not the perfect octagon I had in mind, but it'll do. I mean, I'm not exactly a mathematician here, but this actually gives me more space inside for the buildings, which is kind of nice. So we're going to order up a handsaw and some more bricks. No, we're not going to use bricks. Tell you what, we're just going to use straight up basalt. I'm going to take the diamond one because I haven't used that in a while. So let's see, I need regular basalt. Let's see, I need 4 stacks of that. I'm going to be cutting at 4s. Math and head. Should only need 64 of these, I believe. If not, we can order more. So once all of that comes in, start on the next phase of Project Wall. Alright, our basalt is in, so we're going to get straight to cutting it up. Using the handsaw first. We'll cut it in half. It's like a magic trick. And then we're going to make some slab strips by cutting it in half lengthwise. Now normally with these slab strips, when you go to place them, they only land on a corner, which isn't exactly what we want. What we want to do with them, if you take them, you toss them back in your crafting area, they become pillars. And these pillars, if I can actually put them in my hotbar, allow you to place it smack in the middle. Now these are still a little thick for my taste, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut them down a little bit more, then we're going to start placing them. And then cut them down into basalt panel strips, which are half as thick, obviously, than the slab strips. Toss them in. They make a post, which is, well, basically the same thing as the column. Schlep all these together. Start placing them. And as you lay these down, they'll all just land in the middle. You can place them sideways as well, just like all the other red power cut blocks. This is one thing I probably will miss if I move to full-on new Tekkit, is the ability to make these microblocks. Alright, now that the fence is laid down, we're going to go ahead and top it using the slabs as made by the diamond handsaw. So the basics of the fence are laid out. It's probably not the best looking, but I don't have a whole lot of time to fix it. One thing we can fix, though, is these little corners here. They do look a little jagged. They don't, let's face it, they're not the best. It's nice and smooth through here, not so much through here, but we can fix that using yet another microblock. That's not what I wanted to do. So we're going to cut slab strips. We're going to cut them again. We're actually going to be using slab strips later as well. We're going to make brick slab corners. Brick slab corners should fit, yep, right there in the corners of each of these. Make a slightly tidier looking fence. Alright, so we've got one corner of the fence here complete. I'm going to be doing the same thing to the other corners, basically using the microblocks to flesh it out a bit and make it look a bit more solid. And unfortunately, I have run out of time to record for today. So, I'm going to have to call it quits here. Didn't learn much today, other than a little bit more about microblocks, the useless pillars, things like that. These little guys. We will be learning a bit more next time, probably. Or I might just be doing some more building for my buildings all through the middle here. But until next time, everyone, have a nice evening.